is going to be different, and you have to approach it differently too.
Yeah, I mean, we saw that with our first game starting off the day, where typically you would think Cell Surge would play a certain way, you would think Gogeta Xeno plays a certain way, but they played out so incredibly different than how you'd expect, just because they're trying to bait each other out and they're playing those mind games and they're trying to put each other in a position where they can get the advantage. And this is what we're going to keep seeing here throughout the day during this World Championship.
And here's the start using the 1-drop Broly to take 2 life, and I guess searching for another one, hopefully in his deck.
I would imagine, I mean, being awakened on turn 2 is always pretty sweet. When this Broly goes, he'll also be able to take a life as well. And the deck does have synergies where you're trying to pop cards on your opponent's board to also play stuff on your own board. So there are 2 chains that you could use with this one that's crit based, one that's like double strike based. So there's multiple ways that Poe can go about this depending on how he's trying to attack this format.
Yeah. It looks like he's doing some advanced searching. Does it only look for a 1-drop Broly? Is that correct?
A 1-drop freezes army. When you need a cost of 1. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, so that does find the Paragus. And you don't really need more than one of that 1-drop Broly, so you are fine.
Yeah, because once it goes, it can take 1 or 2 life. So that 1 Broly effectively does all the stuff Awakening that he's going to need.
Yeah. Yeah, it is super crazy. Yeah, even when this card first came out, once again, for set 6, it is crazy how much Awakening power and then sustained power this deck had in a long time. And swinging with the Sun Gohan. Something that's really interesting with this Broly too is that I didn't see play for a while. I think it kind of got outpaced, but since if something was more aggressive than it had a hard time keeping its life.
Yeah, it was right before the coming of counterplays and like how much that changed everything, right before multicolor really came through. And then once those showed its face, then it became really hard because it's a very tempo-oriented deck. You're trying to kill your opponent on turn 2, turn 3, and the variations that deck went through. And nowadays, there's so many more response windows that if you're as linear as what the OG Broly lists used to do, you could get very hard punished by an opponent who was ready for it.
Yeah, and something else is that this deck really took advantage of unisons. I think you do have the restriction of only having 2 battle cards, but unisons aren't battle cards, and you can really take advantage of being able to do that. And also the Poutine on turn 1 is very strong. He's able to use the legendary Super Saiyan to rest the Broly and then play the Poutine for free. That could really hurt.
Yep, and now with 1 extra in drop and 1 in energy, Robotic Riposte is also live for 1, which is a huge setup for this deck. Whoa!
Ooh, taking that damage.
Oh
yeah.
Well, I mean, so here's the thing: that 1-drop Broly, you have to take a life. It is not optional. At minimum, you are taking 1. So it's a very interesting position here, where if he does get this double strike in, he forces Poe to effectively be at 3. So Poe is very much incentivized here to make sure he stays above 4 until that Broly leaves.
Yeah, or at least 5, right?
Yeah, at least staying at 5, because then you can take the 1, you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah, because your first 4 life you take immediately, and then after that you are seldomly wanting to take life.
Yeah, preferably you're at a point where you don't really want to take it anymore. Broly's Awakened side attack auto is sparking 7 though, so Poe's gonna have to put in some work to try and get there. But Bardock is a pretty good unison. So Bardock having the +1 that you can get rid of a 1-drop, and if you do so, it forces your opponent to discard a card, and also has the auto where once per turn when your opponent combos, they have to the combo goes to drop. So very powerful in terms of being able to mitigate decks that want to combo, that want to go into combat. It makes it harder to punch in. So a unison that we saw a ton early on, but Green has such an amazing pool of unisons that it's no surprise that any of these could be super effective. Between this one, the Demigra, you got Dark Broly.
Yeah, and I think that Bardock can really mess up decks like Android 16 as well. I think that's super strong against it because they need that blue-green in their combo area for Arrival. If you can get rid of that for free every turn, you are in trouble.
Yeah, so now it seems like, maybe a bit of a slower. We'll see. I mean, Turn 2 Awakens shouldn't be called slow whatsoever, but we're in a very interesting position here where it's like, maybe he's taking a hand destruction route, which you've seen this leader take more of a role as the deck progressed and evolved throughout the sets.
Yeah, and I definitely think that Wampo missed a couple of his cards. I think he definitely needed to have seen a 4-drop Broly to be able to go into that 1-drop, which was missed, and using the Dormant to prevent the swings. The Dormants are super powerful in this deck just because you can just keep recycling your hand and you're not really worried about the hand disadvantage you get from it. But that does cause the Poutine to rest the Paragus.
Is this a bit of an early dormant, though, you think?
It is.
Because I don't think on turn 2, Kid Icarus is going to be swinging all that much.
No, I don't think so either. But maybe it's just to get cards out of hand and maybe cards into drop.
Well, he does need sparking, right?
Yes.
The sparking needs to happen for him to start drawing from his leader, so whichever way you can do that the fastest could very much be what he's aiming for.
Yeah, because that was, discarding 2 cards to do that, and he's got, I believe, 5, 6?
Yeah, 5. So we're looking at 2 more cards in drop to be able to use his leaders on attack, sparking 7, draw until you have 6 cards in hand.
Yeah, and that Bardock has when this card's removed from your battle area by a skill, and your leader is a green for his army, you can choose one of your green energy, switch to active mode. So that being able to have that on the board still, be able to tap out for 3 and then use the effect of the Bardock to pop it is super nice as well.
All right.
And going for the Cells Earth Destroying Kamehameha. It looks like Andrew has about 7 cards in hand going down to, it looks like he has 6 going down to 5. Yeah, and it's only, the Unison doesn't get the buff from it, so this is only going to be a 25k bottom deck, but he did just rip 2 cards out of hand. And he takes the 1. But that does get enough cards in there to get the sparking. Using the plus to pop the Paragus to get the extra memory back. Energy back.
Yeah, and this is what this deck is going to be so good at. It's 2 card hand. No. 6 card hand.
It's casually draw 4. Yeah. Balanced.
But I will say it is a dual-edged sword or dual-edged blade because Icarus is definitely a deck that can go long. With enough robotic riposts, if they go unanswered, it's going to take a while. And if Poe can't close in quick enough, his deck can thin out really, really quickly.
Additionally, if there's some way for Andrew to rest the leader before it swings, you are in a lot of trouble as well. Because Gohan has access to the Zamasu super combo, the Chilai super combo. Yeah, but I don't know if he has those in his deck. I don't want to spoil it, but those are definitely cards that could end that. I don't know if there's anything else that would really be main boarded for that.
Yeah, so right now, Poe very much playing the advantage-based game. Not, we haven't seen the Broly chain, which was unfortunate when the 1-drop was gone, so which means we probably won't be able to see at any point the Broly no longer, but nevertheless, very proactive with his negates for sure.
Yeah, and looking at Poe's build, I think it's a little bit of a mid-range build. Like mostly, when you first saw this leader and we saw all the action from it, it was very aggressive and you try to end on turn 2, 3. I don't think that's what he's trying to do with this deck.
No, we see some hand destruction, but we also, like you said, see some mid-range pieces. So it really feels like it's just trying to play mid-range green with like some of the good stuff that green can do. You don't have to commit to full hand destruction to appreciate things like Ribrians and Rosies and all the like.
Yeah, and once again, Broly will almost never run out of gas. Until the deck is empty, you will almost always have access to a couple cards in hand. Unless you're playing against other hand destruction, they can do 6 in a row.
Yeah.
But that's kind of like the thing about the deck too, is that you just kind of have soft threats with your Unison and your leader, but you don't have any big battle cards, especially right now, which most of the Higher Dragon interaction is with those kind of cards.
Yeah, I think it's one of those situations where they're both trying to play the same kind of game, but from different angles. So you have the Broly that's trying to do it by um, doing incidental hand destruction, as well as being able to shotgun like an extra 4 or 5 cards in hand, versus Duvall with Icarus, where it's trying to accrue as much hand advantage as possible. So one's trying to mitigate hand advantage, the other's trying to gain as much as possible. And I think that's where they're coming at this matchup, but both from a very mid-rangey and grindy. I think they're both going to just be slugging it out with 15k pokes, 20k pokes, until we get into the later stages of the game where it's going to be, who can shotgun harder.
Yeah, but just very methodical, not wanting to do a lot from either side. And that boo's only, what, a 5k? That's 10k. But not enough to really pressure that leader. Ooh,
and here's the Rosie.
That Rosie is enough to pressure a leader.
Such a good card. The fact that it has deflect is so incredibly good. For 1 more energy, get a 15k triple attacker? Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, sure, why not? If I have to.
All right,
and the other thing about this Bardock, 2 things. One, I think it has 4 markers if I'm reading this right, and it does have a very nasty -3 where you get a triple attack on itself and 5k, and then you can also pop the combo once per turn. That's kind of like the passive hand destruction this leader, this Unison has, which is super strong.
That is so gross, and like you can sequence it where you can prevent the draw from the Kid Icarus because it is an activate battle, so Andrew needs to be able to get into the next combo to be able to activate his activate battle and actually get the draw of Icarus. So here Poe can just deny that every single turn, but at the same time Duvall also gets the Icarus back every single turn. So
yeah, because it's not a auto when a monster is comboed with its activate battle. However, the auto from the Bardock is that, so you can do that. It's like kind of the same timing with doing arrival stuff. You have to have your own interaction window to be able to say, I have these 2 colors and I can arrival something.
Yep. And here we see the last Rosie swing, and then Bardock getting in there, and that's what we were saying about these hand destruction decks, where when you get to a point where the opponent's already awakened, at that point you might as well poke in because they don't want to go at a lower life, and every single card they combo out of the hand is effectively removing 1 card. It's basically like a mini half rib if it's 1, and then at 2 you're basically at a full rib for no energy.
Yeah, but being able to rest the Bardock is super nice. It just means that he can't do the -3 this turn. I mean, he could, but you wouldn't.
I wouldn't recommend it.
All right, and then he can just pop the Rosie with the leader effect too, which is rarely used also.
Yeah, well, it was used in the chain to be able to go up the chain because you can KO your own card. But here, very useful. One, I mean, he needs to be able to clear out cards to be able to play because now he's got the permanent that only allows him to have 2 battle cards on board, or play when there's less than 2. But he's also like super incentivized here to just like swing in with his boo and just do as much as he can because on his leader swing he's going to refresh his entire hand.
Yes, he is. Which I think he's got 2 cards in hand right now.
Yep.
And being able to, which I mean, Andrew's got like 5, and he's already awakened, and he's already done like his leader thing. Like he does not have a lot of cards to play around with.
Yep, I think Andrew looking at 5 cards in hands, maybe.
Yeah, and he did find a second super combo, so that does work. And it's going to be interesting to see. So here's the big thing about this deck: you can feel very invincible, and then if you get Supreme kind of timed at the wrong time, getting rid of that Unison feels terrible.
Yeah. But tough position here for Andrew, especially since like not seeing a robotic riposte or maybe just opting against playing it this turn, meaning that Poe can go unpunished and make these plays.
Okay, he's going to do a lot right now. So he's going to pop the 1 drop, draw a card, and then he's going to do the +1 from his Bardock to make his opponent discard a card.
Wow, the mind reader over here.
When you've got like 2 plays, it's just...
So phenomenal plays here in terms of just hedging. And this is what this does, right? It's going to be 1 fighting off, shotgun handing it every turn versus the other who's going to try and accrue as much as manage. And it's kind of a tough position because like Andrew hasn't been able to build the incidental board that Icarus is so good at doing, at the random 15Ks that come in or the 20Ks. You know, he played a Turtles, but it got rid of the turn after. So it's a very tough position here for sure.
Yeah, and I think this is definitely going to be something that he will have the chance to adjust to game 2. I don't think you are very well versed in this matchup just looking at it immediately, but you do have a lot of hand destruction hate in that sideboard, assumedly, which would help out for what's been going on.
Yep, for sure. You know, if Poe want to be cheeky, you could sideboard out of the hand destruction, but I think that's definitely one of the better things this deck is doing right now. So Andrew Duvall definitely comfortable in being able to go into game 2 and 3 against hand destruction, like we saw at the North American Nationals, and really, really good at finding those Gohans and Deborahs.
All right, so playing the Dormant, he's asking, do you have a cooler in hand? And if you do you want to play it?
But even if you play it here, for what, right? Like,
yeah, I'm in the same boat. You do get to pop the monster, which is potentially. Oh, there it is.
Okay, and you're saying, yeah, you know, I do want to get through this.
He wants to keep that monster on board. Ooh.
All right, and here's the counterplay.
Oh, but does it rest? It wouldn't rest because you missed the timing with the poutine, right? Poutine hits the first one.
No, poutine is
maybe actually because the Frieza
but this was the first play.
As part of the whole chain because they're all counters. Never mind.
Yeah,
that's right.
And this is where, like, you're in a tough position now, right? Because you said I want to be able to start applying pressure and doing what I want to do, but now I only have 1 energy to play with.
Yeah, which is without the blue package is a lot of energy for yellow.
One energy could be a robotic riposte. Like, I think at this point you just hold up there because I don't think you're, especially the fact that the Bardock's going to prevent you from comboing at least once. I don't think you're going to be in a position to be able to pressure enough here.
Comboing the poutine. Wow.
Yep, we are still mid-swing here. The counter still does go through. Oh my, okay. Okay. Weird flex, but okay. All right, the double rib combo.
Yeah, I've seen that before. Oh man.
that is disheartening. Yeah, I mean, you're gonna be able to cycle one. I mean, Duvall that's gonna be his 4th card in hand, so the double rib here will be.
Oh man,
he's got 5 maybe.
If he's got another dormant in hand though right now to clear this board, oh, that'd be. Oh yeah, he does have 2 cards. Oh, you know he wants to.
Yeah, I mean, he could. Hey, with the right overwhelm in hand. Okay, now I think we're seeing 5 or 6 cards.
Oh,
in hand.
Okay, never mind. He's just comboing. Okay.
Yeah, there's no reason to take this. Your leader swing is going to draw you 6 cards. Like.
Yeah. Yeah, that double rib. More like double rip. Am I right?
Got him.
Okay, he takes the 1. Okay. Additionally, I don't know if he's used the Bardic effect. Oh, did he not warp the Frieza? I'm assuming he does.
It might be something that they catch between the two. Could be some delay.
Oh yeah, it does look like that Poe's frozen for a sec. No, his hands.
No. Maybe they were just waiting for a judge call.
Gotcha.
All right, and looks like we are progressing. Oh, well, dormant again. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he could pop the basil too. But he's just
Nope. Andrew's saying we do not need to see this any further. Those Ribrians are going to be enough to remove anything I have to ready for, and we are going to see a game 2 with Poe taking down game 1 with starter deck Broly.
Mm-hmm. Just went to his locals. He's like, I'll take 2 of that one. Actually, that deck's actually pretty expensive because of the part. Never mind. He's owned it.
So, that first game was. Here's the thing. First game, Poe had complete control. I think Andrew Duvall might have had a couple of tough early draws. No robotic riposte, something like that. But this is going to be a completely different game too.
Yeah, and it's been really interesting. Both Higher Dragon matches we've seen have had just really rough matchups against hand destruction, which on the surface you'd think Sun Gohan would be one of the best decks against that.
Yeah, but it's just the way that the advantage plays out. Maybe the speed. Icarus is a deck that really ramps up its advantage as the later turns come through, and if you can hit it too early, it can definitely put it in an awkward position.
Yeah, and I think this runs into the same thing where yes, you draw a lot of cards, but you have a hard time finding time and cards to play because there's especially Broly, you don't have more than 2 battle cards on the field, right? And Frieza wants to, or not Frieza, but like all the Frieza cards and all the other yellow cards want to make a big greedy play to wipe out a lot of cards on board, and it's not something that the deck does, so it has a really hard time to play around it.
Yeah, I mean, even turn 1, we saw Icarus set up the turn 1 riposte, and it just did not line up after that, and maybe just figured out that it just wasn't the line. But it can be responded to. So if you prevent the play, I mean, there is something, and green does have the ability to do that. Sideboard cards, focus breakthrough, definitely something that Poe here can consider to help against any floodgatey stuff that you might do. But Andrew Duvall has a sideboard, and
yes,
he does
they
not want to
both
lose to
have
destruction.
Almost new decks now. Like they're siding so much.
Yeah, like here, what we could think on Poe's side. Well, Poe could be thinking, okay, Deborah's and Gohan's are coming down my way. So maybe the hand destruction we need to pull back a little bit. So I need a bit more board presence. So maybe we bring in Dark Broly. Maybe we bring in focus breakthroughs. That's going to allow me to be able to fight through the ripostes.
Maybe Dark Power, Black Mass Saiyan. That's obviously prevents them from playing. This is like, oh, I discard 1 and now I discard 2. That's not a good trade for me. Or if he's got Koiz in there, Koiz would be on my mind as well.
Yep, exactly. And on Andrew's side, a huge anti-hand destruction. We've seen him play it out against Jared in North American Nationals. Really good at finding those Gohans, really good at finding those Deborahs. So that's probably what we're going to be lining up here for him in terms of how that's going to change. But like you said, very succinct. Basically 2 completely different decks at this point.
And you got to think that Wampo definitely knew he was going to play against 1 or 2 higher dragons at this point, right?
I would imagine that's second format, so.
Yeah, and Andrew's just getting whiplash. He's like, I never expected to play against an Android 16, and now I never expected to play against a Star Deck Broly. Like, it's such a weird pool that this is in. I'm really looking forward to the other matches in this pool for sure.
Yeah, I mean, now that they're side decking, do we spoil post side deck a little bit?
I don't know. I don't know where the courtesy is, or the
right
where that starts or where that ends. But I could just say there are some specific 1-cost extra cards that are in Wampo's sideboard that if you guys saw them, you know it. I don't want to spoil it.
We'll leave it be for now. Maybe we'll push it through later throughout the weekend.
Perhaps if you look at someone's, top 8 breakdowns on their YouTube channel sometime the next week, maybe they'll be there. Who's to say?
Who's to say? But definitely, let's just say that Poe flexing his champion status does not end at only his playmat.
I'll say he only needs 10 cards in his sideboard, I think. And so you got space,
Indeed.
you got space.
So active player here, switching over to Andrew Duvall. Obviously, first player advantage is incredible in our game. And you're going to be able to present him the ability to be the more proactive player here. I think that's what's really going to make the difference here is who's going to be the proactive player. And I think that completely changes the lines that they're looking at.
Yeah, this is I don't know. It's a very interesting match, and I'm really happy and honored to be able to be part of it. It is. I'm happy to see it.
I'm sure you are. You get to commentate all the green decks.
I do. All the cells here, Green Frieza Army. I get to commentate Jared later. I just said like my availability is like Friday midnight to Sunday midnight, just anything, and I got the good ones.
Yep. Yep. And you guys in chat, who do you guys hoping to win? What region are you guys hoping to take it down? Represent yourselves in chat, guys, and give a good holler to the representative. You want to take down Worlds, take home the trophy, take home the prize, and be able to design the very first player-made Dragon Ball Super card.
Yeah, and normally I'd say that after this week, half the players are going home, but they're already at home. So the other 4 will be competing as well. So we're trimming the fat by 50.
Absolutely.
Let's see. It looks like a hidden power Isekai sprung out of Andrew's deck. Too excited to be played, and looks like they just okay.
Yep.
Just gonna shuffle it back in. That's fine.
Talking to the judge, just trying to figure out what the best way is to go about it. All right, and life loaded up, cards in hand, and we're going into the second round of Broly versus Kid Icarus, Andrew Duvall versus Wang Po An.
And I think what Andrews probably want to go first. I don't know. It's a tough matchup because I don't think until he has to, I don't think Wampo is going to swing it. It's very much a self-search like deck in a lot of ways. It has a lot of similarities, except for you can get that. You know, you get the early card advantage and you retain it, unlike self-search.
Yeah, the ability to just refresh your hand every single turn. If you need to use it offensively, you can, and then save your leader swing for the end. If you need to use it all defensively, you can start your turn with the leader swing to replenish and then go for the aggro there. So definitely a lot of flexibility there in terms of what they can opt to do.
Yep, and charging the Boo. And he plays the early higher dragon. That's interesting that he looks like, I don't know, maybe he's going to really try to pressure the leader, try to do some damage this next turn, try to get him down from 4. I could definitely see that happening.
Yep, and here we see Starter Broly doing what Starter Broly does, getting the 1-drop Broly from deck, and almost guarantee that that will be the play coming up to get that early Awaken started. And maybe we get to be able to see the 4-drop come down at some point off of its KO.
Yes. Yeah, that would definitely help. And we did see 1 7-drop in the energy that was charged last turn, and that can do a lot of damage in itself too. Just destroys, discards a card once per turn.
Yeah, it's the little game advantages. I mean, we saw it with the first couple of games. We're seeing with this game here. We're a very resource intensive format right now. How you manage your life, how you manage your hand, have been the deciding factors. So many games at this point decided just by 5k alone.
Oh, he's just passing with 2 energy open. Wow, I was not expecting that.
Robotic cost 2. Still, there's only 1 extra card charged. Could be maybe trying to set up a counterplay Goku where it would rest the card and then be a blocker as well. There's a number of options here that Duvall has defensively. Could also just be holding up for hand destruction. Bring in a couple of Deborahs,
Yeah, and charging the Bardock Unison now, which assumingly means to me that he's got another one, but he's being a little hesitant right now.
Well, he can Awaken if he does. Get rid of the 1-drop, be able to go to 4 life. Then play the 4-drop into it if he's got it in hand as well.
There are plays.
But there are, and in from the side, there are the focus breakthroughs as well. So could definitely put in some work if Andrew is being a little precarious with his counterplays.
Yeah, and a reminder again, he does need 7 cards in drop to get the Broly leader to do his draw up to 6. But yeah, I'm not sure. I would I don't know. I'm not sure what's on his mind. I would assume if he had that Bardic Unison in hand, he would have. Oh, he's thinking about. Oh, I don't know. We're just gonna see, I guess.
Yeah, we'll just have to see it out. See what blind. I mean, 1 could be setting up for a Paragus maybe, or a sacrifice. That works as well. That's another way to be able to get there. Maybe he wants to preserve his energy. He's got some lines that he'd rather not tap out for right away.
Yeah, and maybe he's just trying to sequence it where it's harder to be counterplayed against. Okay, there comes the 4-drop Broly.
Yes, sir. Broly rushing forth a 20k critical, and when a battle card was basically the 1-drop says that when it's removed, it's able to play a 4-drop, and then the 4-drop is able to play a 7-drop.
Yeah, and that Broly also comes from the same starter deck. So I think he just had this, bundled away for a while and said, I think this is the best time to do it.
Oh, it's definitely worked out in game 1. So let's see
Yes.
if that can push through to games 2 and 3.
Yeah, winning a game at the World Championships, not even a match, just a game is already a big accomplishment in my mind. I have
All
1-0
right.
in my life, so.
Okay, and here we see the Bardock putting in that
no,
work.
he used the leader effect instead. And swinging in. And yeah, I think he might be trying to avoid, discarding for Deborah's too.
Yep, I mean, both players here very cognizant that Deborah is effectively a sideboard staple at this point in the format, so...
There's one.
Well, there you go. Not too much, though. I mean, there's a lot of anti-hand destruction that Andrew's got available to him, so while this definitely hurts, definitely a lot more available to him.
Yeah, and it's really interesting, too, that unless Andrew has any self-awakening, he's not able to awaken this turn just with his leader. He's still at 6 life.
That is correct. Here's a
He
Turles.
does play Turles to pop that, but you do get Frieza right back.
That's pretty good, and that's what Poe's been doing a really good job at the moment. Is that anytime Andrew tries to extend his board, tries to put something, Poe answers back and prevents him from doing so, which is a very tough position. One thing to note, you gotta be careful. If you have 2 battle cards, that Frieza is not coming into play. So
that is 110%. Like that is something you do have to play around. And Poe just got that giant hand. He's probably going to be like, yeah, I don't. How many cards does he have in that drop? 3? Okay, so he needs to get 4 out of there to be able to start drawing cards. So he's probably okay with over-comboing a lot of this.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much, right? Like, especially when you get Andrew into a position where he'll be at 4 life, then you feel pretty safe about being able to throw a bunch of cards into his leader, because either he takes it and goes down to 3, which is a very dangerous life total, or he ends up committing a lot of cards and effectively being hand destruction himself without being able to proc off any Devoros or Gohans or anything like that.
Yeah, but it looks like Andrew is just content with using it to help self-awaken and not apply any pressure. And I think he's just, his opponent he knows his opponent wants to get cards in the drop area anyways, so he's not going to help give him reasons for it. Because if he starts comboing, then Poe gets free combos to do whatever he wants, right?
Yeah, I mean, your first one's wasted because of Bardock anyways, and then everything eventually past that. So it's they're both doing a good job here of trying to prevent the other from trying to do what they want to do.
And so here, what's the next play? I mean, you could easily do a Rosie, but the Demi kind of gets around that. Does the Bardock Unison need a green 1-drop, or does any 1-drop?
The Bardock needs
green
green battle card.
Okay. Swing in the... Oh,
I mean, you might as well. Well, here's the thing. You don't have a clean way of getting rid of it. So, depending on how much Poe wants to do here, also if he wants a counterplay available on his turn, there's reason to maybe not, but...
I mean, you still want to swing what's still a 10k, and then if he does end up playing anything, the Frieza can be popped with the leader to pop the other card. And that does... Man, that extra card's so good. Being able to cycle and essentially negate an attack by resting a Unison like that is very, very good.
Yep, the fact that it replaces itself is huge. It's a trigger for Poutine. So very, very powerful ability here.
Yeah, or it can just be a hard negate if you really need it to.
Yep. And we're now in a position where Riposte is now a 1-drop. We have a part of the Super Saiyan energy and a drop, effectively lowering its cost to 1.
Yeah, but it's, I mean, it's being able to negate attack for 1 is great, and maybe prevent another 2 or 3. But I would assume, yeah, there he is. Oh, you're gonna kill a Frieza for a Frieza?
Pretty good.
Pretty nice. That also means he's tapped out, so any hand destruction is moderately free.
Yeah, I think now is definitely when you want to try to do it. Punish the fact that he's tapped out. Well, the Gohans play for. Do they cost one or they play for free? They play for free, so there is that to be aware.
Yes, they do play for free. Yeah, there's the Black
Oh,
Messian.
but not if BMS is on board.
Sure ain't.
Yo. All right, yeah, like you had predicted, Poe here bringing in the BMS, punishing any of the. So now we got not only do we not only have the counters to the original game plan in the shape of Deborah's and Gohan's, but we have counters to the counters in the form of Black Messian.
Yeah, it's crazy how many levels are like mind games exist in this, world format, right?
Pretty much. And I don't outside of like resting it and then maybe using the turtles, I don't think Icarus has like a ton of ways to be able to deal with BMS at the moment.
I don't think so either. So, in just saying, you know what, I've seen this before. I'm going to try to negate the attack, and if you want to play 3 for cooler, go for it. He only has 5 cards rested as well, so you won't get the extra card draw, and it's looking pretty good. Obviously, you can't play any counterplay freezes anymore if you have these 2 cards on, but he looks like he's deep in that think tank.
Yeah, I think you just let this go and try again next turn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there's the rib.
There is the rib.
Now it just gets to sit there and say at any point, if you try and be cheeky, well, actually, now that the BMS is on board, you can kind of just do that whenever.
Yep, and you do have some ways to pop the Black Messian in like the combo step too, and so not being able to have that available for you is also pretty dire because you're missing out on part of the card draw that makes Sun Gohan so good by not being able to play a 1-drop Higher Dragon.
But Andrew's in a comfortable position still. Not being able to establish board is tough. He definitely wants to be able to get that incidental board.
Is he forgetting? Is he forgetting? Oh, do you have to play? You can, or you get. Okay, you can. Okay, up to 1. Okay.
Yeah, so Andrew still has a sizable hand. He's in a position where he may still be able to establish an incidental board. It is very tough with the leader ability and the Bardock that can like start ripping hand, force cards off the board. So it's a very precarious situation.
Yeah, and you definitely want to be able to swing with your Unison first to be able to combo the Majin Buu away. This is where like the Broly gets a little bit tricky. Oh, he's making it triple attack though. Okay, he's really gonna make it so he wants those swings going on. So swinging 20k for a swing.
Yeah, there's the Frieza.
But it doesn't stop Unison swings. You don't have to pay energy for Unisons. It's only battle card and leader swings. So you get 2 more free swings with this. Oh, he gets the pop, so now he has room for other things now too.
Yep. Lining it up, getting rid of the Frieza. Getting the big Bardock swings here. It's going to be able to get the leader swing in as well. Rests 1 there. I mean, there's a lot of plays that you can do here, a lot of lines. And if he lines them up in a way that like he could combo a lot into this.
Yeah, okay. But looking like he just pays 2 for a block, which I think is pretty good. Helps him out there.
Yeah, Army's reinforcements here. It prevents all the attacks, and it's going to force Poe to have to commit energy if he wants to start swinging. All right, so weighing out our options here.
You've got 4 energy, and you can re-Brienne right now, and even if they have a Gohan or something, they're going to have to pitch cards to do it, so...
Yep, and no BMS block. Trigger here because it was played with a counter, and BMS is specifically non-keyword abilities.
Yes.
So what's the play here?
There's just so many options that he has in hand. I don't even know how many cards are in that hand too, right? Because you want to be able to dump your hand to be able to swing with that Broly leader. So, but is the leader swing you'd have to rest something? Is that right?
Yes, it's only Unison swings that aren't impacted.
Yeah, so that impairs a bit of a cost for having to refill that hand.
Yeah, he's 1 card short. Sparking 6 is currently where Poe is sitting at.
Okay. Which means the re-Brienne will make him farther away from it, not closer to it.
he's gotten on
he
better,
never had a
dude, he
good
could just
swing.
rib and pass, right? So.
Yeah, I think Rosie. Yeah, yeah.
Whoa, Rosie works just as well too.
And that means that no, it's still kind of awkward
Well,
though.
Rosie blocks out, like forces him to be at a lower, like now his board is blocked because of the leader
Yeah.
permanent.
Mhm.
And he's effectively just he wasn't gonna swing with the Rosie because he would have to rest unless he'd okay with resting the BMS and his energy. So
But and
it's
that
a blocker. It's a blocker, right? Because
yeah,
Rosie has deflect.
yes, sure does. And, oh, he is going to rest the Black Mass Sand. All right, so he gets rid of assumingly gets rid of that, but I think he just wants to enter the combo set. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, there you go. Well, there's the double hand rip. Bottom of the deck, sir.
That is a very dead Goku.
I'd like to draw 6 new cards, please.
And the nice thing is that Rosie gets a restand, so the Broly could either tap the Rosie or the energy. So there could be 2 more swings coming from one from the Rosie and one from the Broly. Oh, he gets okay, that's what he's doing. He got the restand and then he taps it.
Yep, makes sense here. Has his one energy open to be able to extend any defensive plays afterwards.
Yeah. So remember when Gohan drew 5 cards on the Awakened turn?
Oh yeah. Well, see, Broly gets to do that every turn.
Yes, every turn's Awakened turn for Broly.
And now we see Icarus go down, chilling at 3 to 4, hand size about the same, but with Poe having the ability to shotgun his entire hand every turn and then get it back. And again,
now, you only have 1 marker on the Broly or on the Bardock, so that's something to consider. And I think so. Here's the weakness with the Broly: you do get to draw a lot of cards every turn, but all the cards in your hand are always new, right? So it's not too difficult to get a lot of terrible draws. You're running unisons, you're running a lot of extra cards too. So we'll kind of see how that goes. Ooh.
Secret Identity, ripping off the board.
Yeah, and he's got 2 extra cards charged, so the Mecha Freezes from the future will still be viable, but
yep,
it's pretty costly.
Yeah, it's I mean, I can imagine there's a dormant in our future.
Yep. Waiting for a response. Okay. Yeah.
Getting rid of the 4-drop because that's pretty much a dead card in the deck now. It's really only there to allow an extension of the turn 1 play.
And he was able to get rid of the Bardock Unison, which is something. That does help, I think, a good amount. Combo the Higher Dragon, get the card draw, and they will be able to play it at the end of this battle too. Going down to 3.
And then here's the Higher Dragon.
And then playing 3 for probably the
Unison. There we go.
Yeah, and you only get 1 more swing for the turn still, but big 20k swing is he's just passing. Okay. Oh no, yeah, that's right, because he
had the leader swing. Yeah,
he had the leader swing. Yeah. But if he's got any of those GT SS4 Vegetas in hand, they're online now.
That they would be. Definitely has a Unison available to make that work.
I would be surprised if he did, but he could.
Yeah, it's an option. All right. Oof. I feel like we're about to see some Deborahs in our future. Some Gohans. Yeah. Are we gonna see like a focus breakthrough? Yep. Focus breakthrough on the Deborah. So turning this into just a draw 1 cycle from the Gohan.
Does he need to take a life for that focus breakthrough?
No, you can pay 1 for it.
Okay, you just have to 4 or less life. I mean, going 1 for 1 energy-wise is probably okay, but I don't know. I wouldn't be happy. Definitely, if you had the Black Mass Sand, that's definitely when you'd want to be able to play that Rebrian.
Yeah, like this play was okay, but I don't know if it did much for Poe in this current situation. He's going to be able to draw 3 additional cards. Uno, dos.
Yeah,
all right, I'm
2.
wrong. It's 2.
and it's just free. Yeah. Yeah, I think he went perhaps a little overextended with that Bardock last turn. Having it on board right now would be amazing, and I think he saw the victory in sight and then just pushed a little bit too hard.
Yeah, I think waiting, and it's one of those things, right? Patience, figuring out when the best timing is. Sometimes just passing is the play.
Yeah. Now, next turn is going to be turn 6, which is the Foo turn, but you do not have the drop area to play the Foo, and neither does he charge the card. So you're not as afraid of that. Oh, another Dormant, baby. Has to be paid fully, but you do get to pop the Gohan with it as well. Oh,
No, not with the cooler cool counter, you don't.
His webcam blinked for me, and then like I refreshed, and Cooler's right there. So.
Yeah, it turns out Cooler learned instant transmission, I guess.
Yeah, sure did. My goodness. And going up to a 25k swing. Yeah, this is where it gets very dangerous for Poe.
Yep, Champa double strike here. Could be the play.
Yeah, swing number 2.
And Andrew definitely has the bigger hand here, I think. So if he does have it, there you go.
Ooh, okay.
Whoa, yeah, I think that's the right call.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the right call.
Yep, stops an attack. You're always afraid of double strike anyways, so let's get a blocker for your opponent's big swings. But he could play like okay, it's a Basil, which
just fine. I mean, he's out of attacks anyways now.
So is he gonna focus break? No, he's not, because he didn't finish he coolered the whatever, right? Oh boy, that's a big pain.
Was the swing not on the unison? Maybe I'm wrong.
He rests, and now he's got a big. Oh, okay. We'll see. We'll see what happens. He's swinging with Pan. Big girl.
I mean, he has the. There is something that Poe has that can deal with this.
I know this. You know this.
Yeah.
We'll see if Andrew knows this.
We'll see. Looks like I think Andrew was about to combo out and maybe reconsidered it.
Yeah, and we're going to game 3, baby.
Game 3 it is. Andrew Duvall equalizing the match, bringing it back, and going into a game 3 starter Broly versus Kid Icarus.
Mm-hmm. And I think, I don't know, I still think that Wampo got a little bit greedy with that Bardock. I think he should have kept it a little bit healthier and just kind of have that pressure, because that Bardock just living is fantastic for him and terrible for Andrew. He's not able to combo his higher dragons. He misses out on free combos, and he normally has a somewhat difficult time actually getting rid of the card.
Yeah, it's one of those positions where who can keep board, and then who can take advantage when their opponent's in like a squeeze, I think is the biggest thing here. But that's always how it ends up going when talking about these resource-based games. Like you had noted in game 1, Broly very much playing mid-rangey and just happening to use hand destruction as a tool to beat through the grind. And Andrew Duvall here just having an immense amount of tools that allows him to draw so many cards to be able to get there.
Yeah, I definitely think he made the adjustments he needed to for this game 2, and we're going to see how game 3 goes. The big difference here is that he's not going first anymore, which I don't think is going to be too different, but it just means that if Wampo is being a little bit slower with his awakening with him, that Son Gohan's going to take a while to still awaken and get that flip and the extra card draw that comes with it.
Yeah, for sure. I think an early BMS here could do Poe a lot, but if not, then it makes all the difference, right? The Doburas, the Gohans, like everything that Andrew Duvall has brought in definitely makes Poe have to play weirder. Focus breakthrough we saw here. But even then, focus breakthrough, you just need to be in a position where doing it actually pays off. At the end of the day, you ended up Ribrianning to effectively get rid of like a card and then be down tap to 3. So It's very much all about sequencing and timing here at this point.
Yeah, definitely. And here we go. We're going to be switching back to the match. Looks like they're just doing their hands right now.
Hey, quick reminder, guys. Of course, this is group stage. This is not the last time you'll see the player, regardless of the fact that this is game 3. We are in Group A currently, watching it play out. But of course, these contenders will be playing all of their opponents in their group stage in a round robin, and the top 2 of the groups will be moving on into the final cut next weekend.
Yeah, there are 8 people, which means that there are 12 matches, and each player is going to be playing 3 matches over this next week, I guess over this weekend in general. And we are a quarter of the way through the weekend after this match, so not even halfway through the matches we got this weekend. We have people who haven't even played yet, and each match will be streamed as well.
Yep, you guys will not miss your representative if you guys are from North America, Latin America, Asia, Italy, France, Europe, or OCE. You guys will be able to watch all the action here over this next weekend in the World Championship Dragon Ball Super Card Game Tournament.
So doing the thing that the Green Broly does best, which is find himself, doing some soul searching and finding the one, and passing over. It wasn't that funny.
There are so many layers to what you just said.
All right. All right, swinging with leader. And taking the 1, drawing the 1, and taking the 1.
Yep, pretty standard here. We'll Bardock maybe, or again maybe Paragus the sacrifice, but we're likely to see an Awaken here.
Yeah, the big thing is that with that 1 energy open, if you do some sort of like hand destruction with the Bardock Unison, you don't really get that, and the sequences is kind of weird because you need to play the Bardock Unison to pop the Broly, but it looks like he's going with the Paragus again, popping that, drawing the 1, and taking the 1. Then probably doing the untap 2, draw 1, or untap 1, draw 1, Awaken.
Do we see the 4 drop? I guess not.
I guess he's thinking about it.
There's no reason not to. Well, I guess if you're trying to play something else.
Yeah, if you're trying to get another battle card out, like if you need Black Mass Saiyan out there, then yeah, you definitely don't want him out there.
All right, 4 drop is a no-go. Could see the Bardock again, and it's been Poe's staple turn 2 play for the last 2 games. So let's see if he follows up 3 for 3.
Yeah, and I would be, it'd be a very tough call if you want to. Oh no, it looks like he is going with just the Black Mass Saiyan.
Just BMS.
Yeah, and you kind of need that on the board if you want to do any hand destruction plays.
Yeah, this leader is incredibly restrictive because, especially with how much work Andrew needs to put in to get rid of a BMS. If this deck had the ability to put 2-3 BMSs on board, it would be so good. But he'd be limiting his plays so incredibly much, preventing himself from playing Rosies or anything else. That it's a super tough call at this point.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for Andrew is that he has so many reactive cards, and you have to time them right. And you have to say, the trap that you can keep falling into is like, well, I have this option that I could use, but what if he's got something bigger? Or what if, there's something down the line I need it for, or whatever, right? Like, you need to time them right and pick off the right things to be able to do the things you're really trying to do. So, and to clarify, there's only 2 battle cards on Wang Po's field.
All right, we do have a DC. Judges are on stream, so no issues on that front. We'll make sure that the reconnection comes in, and then we just reestablish board, make sure everything's okay, and we go from there. So we're going to take a quick moment, guys. Just wait up for the internet to connect. And hey, look, here's the thing, guys. I'm going to tell you guys right now, I was behind the scenes the first couple of rounds, and the internet's been wonky. It's not even just us. Like, it's no. Me, Egg. Apparently, you have an outage.
Oh, yeah, I was just cleaning cleaning my room, watching a non-specified streaming service, and then like it went out. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. And then I'm like, oh shoot, I've got an entire outage from my area, which was supposed to last 3 hours, but it lasted only an hour, so we were fine. But I'm just like, man, I was so close to be like on stream and just dipping halfway through, like, oh, so won or so's winning. Oop, I'm gone.
Okay,
Yeah,
is
that's
what it
fine.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess the clash from these super warriors clearly too much for the internet to handle.
Clearly. Oh, but yeah, I don't know. This is definitely a very interesting match to watch, and I'm happy that we got that chance for it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think anyone is calling Broly in terms of leaders we're going to see today. And I think that's something that, you know, the national circuit as well as this world circuit is definitely showcasing this marvelous beauty between the meta, what we're expected to see, but some players just opting, you know, we're going to do it a little bit differently. Jared did it at North American Nationals with top 16. The other regions had some very interesting variation in their leaders as well, which is very refreshing to see. You know, you can take a deck and take the meta by storm. And here we're seeing Poe. And while we do laugh about some of the cards that he included in his deck because we have the insight, I will say definitely showing that the deck is no slouch and can definitely go par to par against what Icarus is throwing down.
He is more confident in a world finals situation than I am in my everyday life. I'll just say that.
All right, the players have reconnected. We've made sure that the board states are all good, and we're jumping right back into it with Andrew Dovale starting his turn 2 with a charge swing.
All right, and there it is, going down to 6 life. And once again, it doesn't seem like any of the higher dragon players are running any sort of self-awakening, and which is very dangerous in my mind against hand destruction boards, because you really want that extra card draw as soon as you can.
True, but you know, when you run like 12 cards, give or take, that counteract hand destruction, do you really, you know, you can probably get around it decently enough.
Yeah, oh man, just pass with 2. That is great for Wang Po.
Well, he does need 2 at this moment to be able to robotic to Goku. So 2 energy is kind of his counterplay thing here. But there we go. Now we see the Ribrianne with the BMS on board.
Oh, and there's a Goku Ape that I'm surprised he didn't combo with just to draw cards, but maybe he's worried about stuff that is happening this next turn.
Yeah. All right.
And for clarification too, that was not a drop. There was a judge call, so he went to a judge channel and with the camera on at all times, and then went back. So nothing, no connection drop or anything like that. It's just a question on Duvall's side.
Yep. So here, Poe taking a good opportunity. I mean, I will say it's unfortunate that Duvale had the dry up here, but you know, Poe recognizing the sequencing here to be like, yep, this is kind of when I need to get these Ribriannes off because odds are they're not my window to be able to use them is not long for this world. The longer this game goes.
Yeah, my board state is to a point where I can get them off without having to worry about repercussions for it.
Exactly.
And what is the play? I don't know. Like, do you just okay? He combos that away, so probably
yeah.
I
think at this point, you know, Paragus has done what it needs to do. So
yeah, chances
start
are
filling your job.
A Rosie who wants to play too, in my mind. You know, obviously, if he had it, you know, next turn would be a Bardock Unison. He'd pop the 1-drop Paragus and go from there, but doesn't seem to be the case. But oh, just drawn 2.
There we go, and counteracting the work from that Ribrianne, but being down to 1.
So. All that hard work.
Being 1 interesting position here, we do have robotic live at 1 now, so that's what this could represent. Focus breakthrough though here could force Andrew in a tap out position here, but you know, I don't know if that even really matters much because I don't think Poe currently has the board presence to be able to close your game if that's the situation.
The best play, I would think, just based off seeing this deck for the first time, is probably 1 charge. 2, okay, I would play the Bardock Unison and then one of those 1-drop Paraguses. get the pop to get the energy back and kind of go from there. That is my ideal turn 4. Yeah, okay. You see it? Looks top 5.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even know why I'm watching the game here. We might as well just have this as a podcast. How about just have you lay out exactly how Worlds happens from beginning to end?
I know green decks, man. I don't know what to say. I live in the United States, but I'm not a citizen here. I've got my green card. Like, what else do you need? Doing that shuffling. Yeah, being able to find, like, I don't know, you don't really care about the Paragus cycling cards as much. It is nice, and it does help you, pitch more cards out of your hand. But we'll see if we get that unison drop it down.
Yep. On we see 2, Bardock.
Yep.
All right, here's that boy. He's gonna get the refresh energy here on the plus as well, which is nice.
Yeah, man. Wang Po said, "Oh, this is BT16. I thought this was BT6. Whoops." Like.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so
the passage of time for the past 2 years just did not happen.
Ignore all the cards that came out. Oh, is he swinging with the Paragus?
I mean, it's got that sparkling, right?
He's getting cards out of hand, right? That's the maybe idea.
I would imagine.
Because he's only got 2. He's going to have, assumedly, 3. Okay.
All right, and here we go. We got the reinforcements here, getting the token down, and setting up Andrew to be at awakening status now.
Yeah. Now, he can do whatever he wants. He can either pop the token with the leader effect, or he can pop the... he pops 1 drop either way, but he pops it with the unison or the leader effect. Either get the discard or the... looks like he's getting the discard.
Yeah, as well. Again, BMS is on board. Take as many opportunities to be able to get this off as possible. I mean, obviously, the more dry apes that Andrew Dovale sees, the more he can mitigate that, but definitely the timing to be able to do so.
Yeah, and obviously there's the chance where now he just got that free untap for doing it. Now he can play another 1 drop and try to go in with that too. And I think it's he's got like 4 cards. Oh, is he going for it?
Ooh.
That would be a bold play.
Because arrested BMS is insta dead, right? Even if Turles doesn't stick on board, it will at least get rid of it. So.
Yeah, and on the other hand too, he could be waiting until, like, if he's got like the power of a Super Saiyan, he can rest that 1 drop whenever he wants, right?
That is true. That is an option available to him. All right, here's the super combo. Android 18 on combo bottom. Your opponent bottom decks a card.
And I could perhaps see him popping the Black Messiah and playing another one for free, and to pop the blocker too.
That could be a line, most definitely, yeah.
Oh, I guess
we're at 6, and we need 1 more for sparking.
Well, he's gonna pop the 1 drop Black Messiah.
To get the to get it the last little bit. Nice.
Yeah, and pop the blocker too. But he will be able to get that started now.
Yep. And just a quick reminder, guys, of course, BMS does not proc off of keyword abilities. So the token that was played off of the negate will not proc him off.
Yeah. Right, popping that to pop the blocker.
Yep, there you go.
There's his twin brother. Oh, and there's that card.
Will be coming in rest mode.
And does he have a freeze of charismatic? That'd be great, because then you can empty your hand even 1 more.
Yes and no, but you probably want to save it for Andrew's turn. You don't want to populate the board with anything and then not be able to counterplay.
And getting that extra draw. I don't know. I would definitely try to... we'll see. We'll see what happens on this next turn.
All right, 1 energy up. Dormant, live.
Cooler live.
Cooler live.
Yeah, if you have the... Okay.
There it
So
is.
this does not negate the attack, obviously, but it does potentially... Oh man, does he cool it for like a third time?
Yeah, here opting to play a little bit more slowly. Fair enough.
He does get the Awaken too. Alright. Comboing that using the effects to not get the active battle. Unless he's got a second one. Maybe
Could
he's
just be
trying to
getting
bait
out of the
with a
way.
super
It is once
combo.
per turn, so yeah.
Yeah.
And then we do
He's
know that
swinging
Icarus is a
into the
card to be able to
Unison.
get back.
Wow. That probably means he has a Turtles in hand.
Probably, or something of the sort. I mean, the Unison's one of Poe's best ways to be able to deal aggression. So here, if Andrew Duvall can like mitigate that Unison, then it's one less threat he needs to worry about, especially when he puts down his own Unison.
Yeah, but it looks like he's playing the Trunks, which is going to be just as large, being able to do the +0 to pop that, get the card draw, get the 1-drop monster for free.
Yep. And just a reminder, guys, as far as the Awakened Leader side goes, his ability to draw is off of an Activate Battle. So Kid Icarus needs to be in the combo area to be able to draw a card.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and only leader in battle too.
All right.
All right. Now this is, I think, a bit of a connection hiccup. We'll have to see if this resolves. Yeah. I think
Connection
connection
issues.
is frozen. Oh, we're back. We're back.
All right. Yeah, it's all good. It just turns out our national champions have mastered all kinds of skills. Cooler, counter, instant transmission. Here, Poe hits time skip. All of the best.
It looked like more like a
in one
dimension
game.
magic to me. You see how pixelated it was?
Yeah, that works too. Yes, Janemba very much a fan of 8-bit art from the look of his skills. All right,
And-
so we're just making sure that the boards are reestablished. Judges making sure that everything that was there before.
This is just a really tough spot for Wang Po, I believe.
I think so
Take a
too.
swing.
The further the game goes, the further it gets away from him at this point in time. So,
Oh man,
the charge
I think he's
focus breakthrough. Is
Yeah.
he representing another one?
I think he's trying to bait
robotic.
that out. I think he's trying to bake it out to make him tap out.
Here's robotic. Do you have it?
Oh, he charged one. Oh, why would you charge one and then
Oh,
groan?
that is unfortunate. Yeah?
Yeah.
No. Okay. Never mind. Just another black mass saying. All right. Here's the leader swing. Drawing 3 cards. He's gonna have to rest.
Oh, he's
Rest in the
resting.
BMS. Okay. Well,
Wow.
not long for this world. Could double strike potentially still live? Could maybe see a D-bro? Maybe.
This is starting to look pretty tough.
How much do you commit? That is the question.
All right.
Yeah, so there's the Icarus. We're going to use the Bardock Auto, get rid of it.
Combos the ape. Great. Both cards you love to see in your drop area anyways. Popping the... Okay, so maybe just played the BMS just to pop the Frieza off the leader effect.
But at this point, basically saying I don't plan on destroying your hand anymore this turn.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, unless... Yeah, it could be a missequence, because if he had a 1-drop... Okay, yeah, just Rosie for 3.
Yeah, so we're probably seeing some Gohans here.
Yeah, he should have done that before he popped it then, right?
Yeah, you should have.
That was
This
some
is
bad
unfortunate.
sequencing.
There's one Gohan, so it's gonna cycle one card, and looks like he actually has to get rid of one. So not perfect, but then get rid of the unison there.
Yeah, it seems like a mistake on my end, unless there's something I don't know. He definitely should have waited to pop that until the Rosie came out.
All right, dormant live stills.
Cooler live still.
Yep. So very much in a similar situation, but now Andrew Duvall being in a way more advantageous position with that unison, having a board that's going to be a little bit more difficult for Poe to deal with. So in a phenomenal position here to be able to, now the counter puts in a lot of work.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right,
That
just
Bark
getting
unison usually does so much, but now he can do all this stuff for free now and really get around it.
Yep. Counterplay Frieza offline now.
Swinging with the leader. Getting the rest, getting the poutine out for free.
And
now
this is the
really,
boards that we know
standing
Icarus does. This is the stuff. Now you got poutine slowing down any, which like it's not like really plays a ton, but it's an extra battle card on board that could prevent anything too crazy, prevent any overwhelms.
Now, how many cards are in hand though? Andrew's still got what, 6 or 7 in hand?
Yeah, Andrew's got a hefty hand. It's I think he's got a little bit more than Poe right now, so it's a little bit of parity, but like the board difference is considerable.
I mean, those basils, dang.
It's a good card, man. And we are at 6 cards rested now, so it's going to be able to get in there.
Still has Overarm live. Rebrianda's, I mean, it's a 5k combo.
Yeah, I mean, if he's got the 4th BMS in hand next turn, it'll do something, but...
All right, and I think he just immediately swung a second time. Going down to 3. Let's see that.
2.
Turtles,
and there's the Turtles.
There's that BT16 representation.
Definitely one of the most impactful cards of set 15 for sure.
Oh, set 15, sorry. I'm so excited for 16 already.
All right, super combo.
4 cards in hand. Now, are we going to just see a Pan go for W? This also means that any of the Slug Army cards are out for the count too.
Yeah, Pan does cost 2 at the moment here. Which doesn't matter. You could play another battle card and then go from there.
Yes, yeah. Okay, that's another battle card.
What does Poe have? Does Poe have anything?
I think he's got a shot with the matches we'll see later in the day.
All right, no negates, and this is where hand size is gonna take it. Let's see it. 35k, super combo for Andrew Duvall. Chat's calling it. Who knows? Could be. There's the 5k.
Making it that double strike. Let's see it. Oh baby, what a difference that's gonna make.
And yeah, we're shotgunning it all. We're saying it. It ends here.
Okay.
What does Poe have a response? So 25, 35, 45, 55, 60, 70, 80.
Is it gonna tap 1?
Did he see it?
Oh, he tapped the 1. He tapped the 1.
Oh my God!
Oh no!
Oh, he saw it. Oh, primal carnage combo.
He can't even pan.
He cannot pan. He does not have the energy for it.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God.
He doesn't have the battle cards, not the energy. Oh my goodness. We are back here.
How the turn tables. And with that shotgun, Poe in a position to seal the deal against Andrew Duvall with starter deck Broly. Who knows? It's not done yet, but
No,
very
but
much the writing is on the wall.
That is what he wanted, and that is what he needed. My goodness. Oh, and that is.
Oh.
I almost want to play 4 because then you can just.
And he does have a Ribrian.
Yeah. Negates the attack. Okay.
All right. So 3 damage. How can it come through?
Oh, he should have. I don't know what's in that hand, but he should have totally tapped 4.
Yeah, just to get the triple attack.
The play.
Yeah. We'll see. Leader swing. Going to draw 2 up to 6. And you don't have to combo here. We already know that.
Oh. Rosie.
And there's Rosie.
All right.
Swing.
15K. That's
just that. And then the 1.
And he takes it. Woo! What
Wang,
a match.
And taking down the game 3 against Andrew Duvall, starter deck Broly with the win.
Oh my goodness. What a crazy match.
Woo!
Oh my goodness.
Like the French would say, sacre bleu. Shee! What an insane SCR for the clutch flipping of the story.
Yeah, that is a old, like what that secret rare is from like a year and a half ago. Not as old as Broly, but no one runs it anymore. But man, that one of Snipe, man, I mean, what? Being able to use it just one match from this weekend is a third of your Post flexing on his I can win Piccolo in the chat.
Oh my god. Absolute insanity to close that out. And we were saying early on, Carnage possible. And here in the clutches of last moment, just saying, I saw it, I got it.
Yeah, and I will say, if I was to, he could have definitely not had it. But from the second game, he could have had it, but then realized, you know what? Even if I pop it right now, I'm not going to win, and I don't want to spoil the surprise. We didn't want to spoil the surprise, but it's out there now, and oh my goodness, what a impact it made.
Absolutely crazy, and that's that skill of understanding. You don't always want to do everything you can if it doesn't solve the big picture. And here the big picture is best of 3.
Yes.
Game 2, I'm in a losing position. Yes, I can play out, and maybe I can play to not lose, but we're not here to not lose. We're here to win, and you have to play to win. And that information, like you were saying, the ability to say, this could come in handy game 3. I just need to get there and try for the match win going into the next game.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and that secret information is so huge. And once again, yeah, you want to play for game 3. And sometimes like you have times where you're like, you know what, I'm in a losing position, but I have time. Let's see if I can find more cards out from what my opponent's running.
Yeah, and it's we saw that big mindset of counterplays into counterplays into counterplays, right? So of course, hand destruction, you're gonna bring in, your Deborahs and your Draw Apes and your Gohans. All right, well, I'm gonna bring in BMS to prevent that. And then we saw this big kind of like back and forth between who can answer the other's answers. And once we could figure out that puzzle, then we can start playing the game the way our decks are meant to play.
So definitely a good showing for Wang Po to get out of his pool. 2 more wins guarantees it, and then assumedly there will be 1-2-1 if I do the math right, and there aren't any win trades. So we'll end up and we'll kind of see what that goes. But man, what a clutch match to finish that, or clutch game to finish that match rather.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And we're going to see so many more, guys. Of course, as a reminder, this is a group stage tournament. It'll be round robin. You will see these players again because the top 2 from both Group A and Group B will be moving on to the final top cut next weekend to determine the world champion.
For sure. Yeah, we're going from 8 to 4, and we're going to go from there. And once again, every match, all 12 of them of this weekend will be streamed right here.
And we'll go ahead and transition over to the card, because for those of you guys who were not here earlier this morning, we did showcase a brand new card coming in to the next set. So here we have this amazing 8-drop Universe 7 Goku, double strike, dual attack, deflect, ultra mastery here. Absolutely beautiful card.
Yeah, the Bojack Aegis that just got banned. It had a lot of red key tags. You're like, okay, boom, here's another one. All right, that's the balance for it. But such a good card. I think for you specifically, you like Invoker a lot. What do you think of this card, Invoker?
It's an interesting situation, right? Where like the card has a restriction where you do need 10 universe sevens or universe, yeah, sevens. So it's very tough for that deck to have. You have your Beerus's and then you have your Vegetas, but in that deck specifically, it's a little bit difficult. But there is a world where you can kind of tune Invoker to have more battle card centric game plans. There's a bunch that throw a bunch of extra cards into your drop in the form of like the A17s, and there's Android 18s as well that help out facilitate that strategy a lot. So you can, and we have seen that strategy pull through in the earlier iterations of Invoker. There were basically two worlds that you can live in: the one that played more battle cards, the one that played less, both of them having done well in tournaments at the time of release, and definitely something that the deck can lean on to if it decides that this is the one of the finishers that it wants to go into.
Yeah, and this is kind of, I was talking about this earlier. Decks don't normally have just one big finisher anymore, right? It's been a while since we've had like these big boys, and like just in the decks we saw, it's just kind of like some minor finishers that you can be kind of flexible. But this guy really speaks to me for that. And another deck that I really thought about between when it was first shown and now is that I know like Launch would be a really good maybe leader for this, because or Unison kind of pair for it, because you're not able to. I don't know. That card just gets a bunch of energy. You need a big boss monster, and it can combo so much. It's not restricted to Universe 7 leader. Is that correct? Only for...
It is not. You just need 10 Universe 7s in drop to be able to play him, and then you need Sparking 20 to be able to get his ability when he attacks.
Yeah, and that deck just combos a lot, and I've already seen that deck run some Universe 7 stuff, so I think that could be another contender. I don't know. I really like how open-ended this is, as long as you run the chains and the combos.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, at the end of the day, you probably are leaning towards a more Universe 7 oriented deck, but we've seen Red take that shift in the last couple of sets. Earthlings was the very big Red theme, but in the last couple of sets with the Gohan, we got the starter deck Vegeta, and now with the additional cards we're going to be gaining from what is supposed to work with the new Red Goku of the archetype means that there's going to be a great pool, sure, to have